Music has always been a form of therapy to many of us. So when hip-hop was born, it allowed us to be able to attack issues that affected us individually and as a community. Rappers like Grandmaster Flash, Public Enemy, Run DMC, LL Cool J, NWA. From coast to coast, no matter how different our walks of life was, there's one thing that always remained the same. Black and brown people was just dealt a different hand than the rest of the world, so music became an outlet. One thing I have to mention about some of the pioneers that I named earlier, they were able to open the doors so the people that we love today can be successful. But what happens when the culture shifts? And now the people and the voices that used to speak for us, now they're targets.
Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle shot and killed outside his own clothing store in Los Angeles.
The rap star on the rise, killed during a violent home invasion and the Hollywood Hills.
Young Dolph is down and killed at a South Memphis cookie shop.
22-year-old man named Timothy Leaks is reportedly facing felony murder charges in connection with the death of King.
A Dallas rapper was outside of his car on I-35 near the
Suspects were after the rapper's expensive jewelry here at this restaurant.
Today, the culture is much different. The young artists now, they measure their success by showing off some of the valuables that they now own. Big gold chains, diamond bracelets, expensive watches, VVS diamonds, Cuban links. The list goes on. And when you combine that with social media, it just gives others an open invitation to come and try and take what is rightfully yours. This is a video compiled of some of my favorite hip-hop artists that lost their life due to greed. Rest in peace to all of these men. Bashar Jackson, aka Pop Smoke, raised in Brooklyn, New York. He actually rose to fame with the release of his singles Welcome to the Party and the famous Dior. Now the thing that makes this situation so tragic is that Pop Smoke hadn't even peaked yet. He was just getting started. And doing something as normal as sharing an Instagram post is the same thing that set the wheels in motion that would have him tragically lose his life later on that night. On February 19th of 2020, he was renting a house through an Airbnb. At around 4:30 a.m., 5 hooded men, including one wearing a ski mask and carrying a handgun, broke into the house through a second-story balcony while he was taking a shower. The intruders held a gun to a woman's head and threatened to kill her too. Shortly thereafter, the woman heard the man shoot Jackson 3 times after an altercation. Now, it was very unclear. There were so many different circumstances in which made people feel as if maybe he was set up. But the fact of the matter is, it just came from pure jealousy, pure greed. People seen what he had, and they wanted it. Just sharing this post right here is what triggered his demise later on that night. At first, the LAPD suspected that Jackson's death was gang-related, as he was tied to the Crips. However, later they believed his death was just a consequence of a home robbery gone wrong. It was believed that the intruder stole Jackson's gold watch and other jewelry before running away from the house. As a matter of fact, a 15-year-old allegedly admitted to killing Jackson over a diamond-studded Rolex during a recorded interview with a cellmate at a juvenile detention center. At the end of the day, it was still pointless. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle shot and killed outside his own clothing store in Los Angeles.
Nipsey Hussle. I ain't even gonna lie to you guys. His death affected me so bad. Emerging from the West Coast, he dropped numerous mixtapes. The Slauson Boy, The Marathon Continues, Crenshaw. But it wasn't until he dropped his project Victory Lap in 2018, in which he garnered all of the success that he rightfully deserved. He wanted to focus on giving solutions and inspiration to young black men just like him. He denounced gun violence through his music, influence, and community work. He spoke openly about his experiences with gang culture, and I think that's why a lot of the young men could relate to him. On March 31st, 2019, Hussle was shot at least 10 times in the parking lot of his store, Marathon Clothing. And this coward, Eric Holder, stunted the very growth in which he was given life to thrive in the community that he grew up in. It's very sad. Envy is a very terrible thing. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
Why it always hurt him every time that I say, yeah. SHAMIKA, I'ma say on the truth, look. Fuck what they saying, I'ma go get it, huh? I slept on the floor in them trenches. I was so broke I couldn't fix it. Lost all I had and I miss it. ramen noodles, fajita wings. That shit made me a victim. Do you get it? Do you know what I had to do? I had to ride to go get the cream. You do not know what that struggle mean. Do you know what I had to do? Jumped in that water.
Melvin Noble, aka Mo 3. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. I listen to all different types of music, and it was just something about Mo's voice that resonated with me. No lie. It kind of reminded you of some of the greats like Sam Cooke and Al Green, and I later learned that these men were influences of Mo, and you can definitely tell. You can hear it in his music, the pain, everything that he been through. It's like his music would paint a vivid picture of exactly what he was feeling like at that moment. Like, seriously, he was definitely one that was gone too soon. Now, he lost his life in broad daylight, in the middle of a highway, I-35 to be exact. It was a little bit before noon when a suspect approached Mo's car. Both men stopped their vehicles. The victim got out, that mean Mo, and he started running, but he was shot several times on the highway. A bystander inside another vehicle was also struck as well. Police say that person did not suffer life-threatening injuries, but Mo 3 was later pronounced dead. Now, this is the thing, man. When it comes down to envy and greed, it's no safe zone. If they want you, they're going to seek out to get whatever it is that they want. And it's very, very sad in this world. Rest in peace, Mo 3. Davon Bennett, aka King Von. He was from Chicago. And we all know about the stigma that plagued Chicago. And let's be honest, he was definitely part of that culture. However, I do love the story of the underdog. And even though it was alleged that he was part of numerous murders, when it came down to hip-hop, you can easily notice that it was a star that was emerging.
What do you think your highest point was? I don't think I met the highest point yet, but since so far, right now, what's so far at this point? Right now, right? Yeah, that's the highest. This the highest I've ever been. This the most successful, most proud of everybody been on me and shit. My mom is, I ain't give her too much to say she proud of me about, yeah. But this right here, this making, it's decent. Look, pockets for the sale. Shit I'm done. This chain costs a lot.
When the news of King Von being involved in the shooting hit the internet, it sent shockwaves through the whole community. On November 6th of 2020 at around 2:15 a.m., King Von and his crew was involved in an altercation with Quando Rondo and his crew outside of the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia. The dispute quickly escalated into gunfire. King Von was shot multiple times. He was transported to a hospital in critical condition, and there he later died. He was 26 years old. Rest in peace, King Von.
Hold up. Them letters right there. Them 3 letters. Them 3, P-R-E. That way, motherfucker. Hold up, get this shit. We a new BMW, motherfucker. Rari. Hey, the 2-seater Benz over there. So many of you motherfuckers don't even know the name of all these motherfuckers. Like the Wraith. Hold on, they go to the other Wraith. Hold on, they go fizz over there.
Adolph Thornton, aka Young Dolph. He was from Chicago, but when he was 2 years old, him and his family had moved to Memphis, Tennessee. And ever since then, he's been carrying a whole city on his back. In 2008, due to encouragement from his friends, Young Dolph released his first mixtape, Paper Route Campaign. And seeing that it had local popularity, he decided to fully invest himself into rap. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, it paid off wholeheartedly. Now, he was also a family man. He's been with his lady, Mia J, for quite some time. They had 2 children at the time of his death. On November 17th, 2021, Young Dolph was fatally shot in Memphis while picking up cookies for his mother at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a bakery he frequently visited every time he was back home. 2 gunmen in a white 2-door Mercedes-Benz gunned him down. An autopsy later revealed that Thornton had 22 gunshot wounds. If you really ask me, that was extreme overkill. He was survived by his family, his 2 daughters, and his girl. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. The latest death to impact me in a way that I can't explain will most likely be PNB Rock, aka Rakeem Allen. He was from Philly. He was best known for his single Selfish, which peaked at number 51 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Now the thing is, some people feel like they're invincible, and sometimes PNB Rock never shied away from that fact. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this clip.
Get back! Who you done ran down on?
robbed, none of that shit, bro. It never happened to me, and it's never gonna happen. I haven't been robbed. I haven't been ran down on. Cause niggas know. Yeah, come correct. Niggas try to rob me a couple of times. That shit, niggas getting blicked on, bro. Niggas is getting blicked on. Niggas try to take my little brother chain. Got smoked right on the spot.
As you can see from that particular clip, you can never say never. You can never put it past anyone that has nothing to lose. On September 12th, 2022, PNB Rock was out eating with his girl at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles near Main Street and Manchester Avenue in South Los Angeles, where a man approached him, tried to take his chain, and he was fatally shot. He lost his life in the process. Now, I say all of that to say this. You can definitely be proud of your successes, but with social media, you have to be very, very careful of the things you expose. This list that I compiled together is relatively small in comparison to how many people who has actually lost their life, especially in hip hop, due to greed and envy. You have to be very, very careful of the things that you share on social media now. Social media now has become a tool to get you caught, set up, and now indicted when it comes down to your art. You have to be very vigilant these days. Rest in peace to all of these men. And until next video, I'ma catch y'all, dog. Peace.